Hello, algebra students. Let's look at an example of distribution that confuses a lot of students. And that's when we see the negative sign pressed up against a grouping here. Now, there's two ways to think about this. One way you can think about it is as subtracting or negating the whole grouping. We've talked about it that way before. So it's like basically changing the sign of every term inside the grouping. So for R was positive, it becomes negative. And that was a +9, so it would become a -9. But for a lot of students, that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. And this idea of distribution can help explain it a little better. If you remember that the invisible coefficient is 1. So one way to think about this, yes, is as negating a grouping, but another way is to think of it as multiplying the entire group by -1. And for a lot of students, that's an easier way to think of why the signs change, because -1 times +4 is -4. And so I get -4R. And -1 times +9 is -9. And so we can consider that as distribution. Now, similarly, if I were to take a grouping here, 4k minus 13, and multiply it by just -k, a lot of students, especially those who struggle with negative numbers, aren't sure what to multiply with. They're like, I want to put it in my calculator, but I don't know what the number is. Again, if we don't know how many negative k's, that's -1k. And now you can use your calculator if you're a little stressed out about multiplying with negatives. So -1 times 4 is -4. And of course, don't forget that if you have a repeated factor, so I have k here multiplying twice, we are going to use exponents. So that's 2k's multiplying, or k to the second power. And now I'll multiply my -1 by my -13, which will give me +13. And there was a k there multiplying, so it'll be +13k. All right, strong work, you guys. Super proud of you. Happy learning.